Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or hi if you're new. It's Libby, and today I'm bringing to you another Friday Reads video. Filming this a bit early, but that's okay. I'm currently reading 2 books, and then I have 2 other books that I want to try and get to this weekend. So the 2 books I'm currently reading are my reread of ACOTAR, which is the first book in Court of Thorns and Roses series, and in this one we follow our main character. You all should know about this already. Freyra, who one day goes into the woods and ends up killing a wolf. Turns out that said wolf was a fairy. So now she has to go in the fairy realm and live the rest of her life there. So I am currently on page 54, chapter 7. I'm doing a reread of all of Sarah J. Maas's works for the preparation of the new book coming out this in the latter half of the year. So, and then the 7th book is coming out the beginning of 2027. So, I have this. I need to get to chapter 20. Hopefully I can do that today and go from there. So I have ACOTAR as a reread. Then yesterday I started another book and I read almost 200 pages of it in one sitting. I started Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh. This is book 2 in the Boys of Tommen series, and this book, I can't say too much, takes place where Finding 13 leaves off. Now, and here we're following our main character Shannon, who comes from a hard home life and a hard life in general. Her father is an alcoholic and an abuser, and she was bullied at her old school, and she got transferred to Tommen. So keep in mind, please look up the trigger warnings before going into this. There is a lot. The author does make a list of triggers in the beginning of the book or somewhere in the book. I know there is a list of triggers, and so therefore do keep in mind, do look them up before going into this series. A lot goes down in this series, and this book takes place where the first one left off. So yeah, and I'm on chapter 22, page 157. So I got pretty far in this yesterday. So I'll be continuing this weekend. And then the other 2 books I want to start, if I have time, are part of my TBR jar challenge that I did. I know I've been doing it pretty much at the end of every video lately, but if you have any prompts that I could possibly add for TBR jar, please let me know. I would greatly appreciate it. I could use quite a few more prompts in here. And I have Your Knife, My Heart by K.M. Mornova. And this is a dark romance. It's got pretty sprayed edges all the way around. This is a dark romance, and then we follow our main character Morgan, who can't stop killing his partners, and there's just all of that going on. And then he got somebody that says he has one goal is to not kill the new girl, and then our female main character Emery nearly escapes a death sentence after her own crimes, and she is assigned to Cameron. And there's trials that they have to survive, so this sounds interesting. This is pretty short. Read. It is 282 pages. So it's less than 300 pages long. So, and this was for Read a Dark Romance prompt. So I have this one that I could potentially read. Again, I don't know too much about it other than the blurb on the back. Then I have See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I know I'm still pronouncing that author's last name wrong. And this one, it was for the prompt of 2 or more people on the cover. And in this one we follow Burnett Bloom, who wants to do a refresh start in college. And then when school begins, she apparently gets humiliated by the know-it-all in her physics class. She panics and flees, so apparently panic attacks. And the next morning, she wakes up and she finds herself that it's September 21st again. And yeah, so I guess she repeats this day over and over until she fixes whatever went down, what went wrong. So, yeah, I loved the first book I read by this author, and I can't wait to read this one. So, those are my reading plans for the weekend. Here, I'll probably finish 2 and start the other 2, so if I do, that'll be great. Let me know what you're reading this weekend down below. I would love to know. And subscribe, stay a while. I will hopefully see you guys in my next video.